Hi, this is Hema Vatsivasu, and welcome to the second part of the meat processing industry's video series. So, yes, we have a first part where I talked about the operational infrastructure of the meat processing industry and how you can actually tie back ERP to all of them. And in this video, we are going to be talking about solving the industry challenges and how ERP can actually tie back all of those challenges to the solutions. So, let's get started. And we saw this quick Kanban table in our last video. So this is about these are the things that you need to focus in your business, and these are the things that your ERP needs to focus on a little more too. So it comes to compliance and safety, operational control, financial and forecasting, data visibility, workforce and resource management, and we'll be seeing all of these topics in detail. Let's start with compliance and safety because when it comes to food and beverage industry, like especially when it comes to dairy and meat processing industries, it's not like it's just a box you tick. It's actually the backbone of your operation. Everything starts with food safety and regulatory control. Between USDA inspections, FSIS rules, and export documentation, there's actually no room for error. And your ERP needs to enforce these standards as part of the process, not leave them buried in PDFs or binders. And this is just the beginning. You also need end to end traceability from source to shelf. That means knowing exactly where each cut came from, how it was processed, when it was packaged, and where it was sent. So, because when something goes wrong, and it will eventually, you don't want to be scrambling through spreadsheets. And when we talk about cold chain temperature monitoring, it's very integral to this business because product integrity depends on temperature every minute, every stage. From post slaughter chill to delivery trucks, there are too many points where things can slip. If your ERP is not capturing real time sensor data or sending alerts the moment something drifts, then the product is already compromised here. Next, you've got your recipe and formulation versions. If you're running different specifications for different customers, say one wants low sodium bacon and the other wants extra spice, it's easy to slip. And one wrong version on the floor means the entire product is bad. And you need to rework or worse, a recall. Which brings us to the audit trails. You need to be able to see exactly what happened, who did what, when, and why. Not just for internal reviews, but because auditors and inspectors will ask during the audit trail. So, if your records aren't clear and complete, you are the one left holding the bag. And when recalls happen, and they do, your system has to support fast, accurate recall execution. Not like just send out a mass email and hope for the best, but I mean drill down to the lot and not just in hours, but as quick as we can. So, what products are affected, where they were shipped, and what's in stock, you should be able to pull that within minutes. And you can't just let anyone touch every part of the system, right? This is one important part where I've seen people actually talk about this as a significant concern they experience. So you can't actually let anyone, everyone look into the system, look into every part of the system. So that's where operator level transaction controls come in. So you can define roles, restrict permissions, and log every action. Not everyone should be able to approve a specification change or backdate and inventory transfer. So that's how you actually manage and you actually divide the different departments inside an ERP system. So finally, if you're not running mock recalls on a regular basis, it's like you're gambling with your brand. So practicing trace backs under pressure shows where the holes are and it actually helps you protect your credibility when something really hits the fan. And then your operational control. Let's talk the shop floor. If we talk about traceability, the lot numbers are not just enough anymore. You need to track every handoff from cutting to packaging to cold storage. Every touch point matters here. And one of the obvious things that we can start with is the catch weight. You're not selling uniform cereal boxes where you know that this is the weight for every single box and you can just multiply into the numbers. So here every single weight is unique and every cut weighs differently. If you're not capturing exact weight at each stage, you're either losing money or overcharging, and both of them are not a good look for your business. And that's also a margin killer. It takes a huge toll on your margins too. And then we need to talk about yield. This is a very peculiar concern when it comes to dairy or meat processing industry because the yield is not consistent like most of the industries out there. One day the yield is different, the other day the yield is different, and you might have an expected yield and the actual yield might turn out differently. So if you're not tracking it by primal, subprimal, and trim, you're actually guessing it, And the yield variability actually takes a toll on your business. And the yield variability, as we talked, it actually depends on livestock, trim specification, even who's in the boning line that day. So it throws off everything from costing, planning, and pricing if you're not accurately tracking it. And then you catch weight at shipping. That's critical too, because every box needs to match pricing, compliance, and customer expectations to the decimal. And if your workflows are manual or inconsistent, then that means you're bleeding time and money. So you need to standardize and automate your entire supply chain, and that's how you get speed and accuracy across plans, and that's how you plan to scale your business. And lastly, you need to monitor your equipment and downtime in real time. Because when a machine stalls, so does your margin. So there is one specific example that I really, really like, and it's about a bakery shop. So let's assume there's a bakery and they have about hundreds of units, hundreds of pastries selling every single day. And on one fine Wednesday, they actually run out of, say, vanilla extract. Do people run out of vanilla extract? Okay, let's say they run out of chocolates. No, I like chocolate, so no, I don't want to go out of stock. So let's say they actually run out of flour. Right. So on one fine Wednesday, the bakery runs out of flour, and nobody knew because it was not tracked in real time. So when someone actually knows that the flour is out of stock on Wednesday morning, it means that they need to stall the entire production for that particular day until they are restocked. So this means you need to be at a place where you can respond to something even before it happens, not just react after it happened. And let's talk about your financials and forecasting. If we start with production planning, you can't just go by gut feeling, because there are a lot of things that we decide by gut feeling in our lives. Let's actually keep our business out of it. So, your production planning, it needs to align with actual sales trends and seasonal patterns. If it's grilling season or holiday demand, you need to be ahead of it, not just reacting to it. So that is your demand forecasting. It has to be specific. It's not just about total pounds, but by a specific cut type and by customer segment. So what's trending with retail may not match food service needs, and private label may, it might not be the same. It might be a whole different story. So with strong margin visibility, you can refine your pricing strategy. You can understand where you're making money and where you're not, and this insight actually helps you price smarter, especially when costs shift drastically. And all of that leads to less overproduction and waste. When you're forecasting accurately, you're not sitting on extra product or scrambling to move trim at a discount, and you know what's exactly there and how you need to move them. It leads to higher profitability per pound processed. It's not just about throughput anymore. It's not just about the volume that you produce or the volume that you work with. It's about the profit per every single cut that you make and every single box you have. And all of this needs to connect back to your budgets at the plant level. So each facility can plan, spend, and produce with clear performance targets in mind. And next up, we have data and visibility. And this topic has to be given importance a little more, because when I say data, I do not just mean tracking numbers, and I do not mean keeping track of the numbers or storing the numbers either. I mean, when you say data visibility, it means that you need to know how to get the data at the right time. So, and in real time, you need to see what's happening everywhere. Dashboards across locations let you track production, inventory, and performance without waiting for end of day reports. And that includes inventory visibility, not just in cold storage, but also in transit, because that's very important when it comes to meat industry and also dairy industry, because you actually have your items getting transported across different locations, whether it's on your own trucks or sitting at retail partner locations or with third party logistics providers. You need to have a good understanding and visibility of what's there and the temperature at each truck and everything. And you can't improve what you don't measure. So you need to measure, you need to spot trends in yield, throughput, and downtime as they are happening in real time, not just weeks later in a spreadsheet. So you can get real time alerts when something is off. That's very significant, as we talked, like a temperature breach in cold storage, a sudden drop in yield, or in the storage or while it's in transit, or a gap in data capture. That's how you stay proactive and not just reactive. And with one source of truth across departments, everyone from operations to finance to QA, they're all looking at the same data. So decisions don't get bogged down in conflicting reports. You actually know that the decision is consistent and it's same, and it's actually easy to track across all departments through your entire department, your entire business, and the entire supply chain. And ultimately, this is also about speed. You can have faster data backed decisions, and it means fewer losses and more control, plant to plate. And then you have workforce and resource management. If we talk about labor and resources, this is actually an important topic to be talked about because in this industry, margins are tight and every shift counts. If we start with scheduling, you need to assign labor by shift, skill level, and compliance status, not just who's available, but who's actually certified and trained for the job. And speaking of which, tracking employee certifications and training shouldn't actually live in a binder where no one actually checks that. You need digital records that flag expirations before they become a risk. And then there's your labor cost versus output. If one line is costing twice as much per pound, you need to understand why. You need to know why. Is it the crew? Is it the product mix? Or is it a bottleneck that you need to address right away? And that helps you um, keeps track where you can scale your business effectively. And then your equipment maintenance, it plays into this too. So if you are not logging and planning service cycles, you're waiting for breakdowns, and downtime is not cheap. Just like how we saw the bakery example, you can't afford to stall your entire production or your entire business when something bad happens. So the key is to reduce manual entry here. The more you automate, the less time you spend cleaning up spreadsheets and fixing errors. And all of this adds up to better resource across shifts and locations. So you're not overstaffing one plant while another falls behind. So if we take a broad look at it, this is how ERP can actually help you across the supply chain here. You have different segments of your business taken care of. So if it starts with ingredient sourcing, whether it's cuts from your suppliers or spice blends, ERP helps you keep track of what's coming in from whom and if it meets your standards. And then if you look into inventory management, you have real-time tracking of what you've got in storage and how much is left and whether it's still good to use. And then you have your production management. It helps you keep things moving from cutting to portioning to packing. So you can track yields, catch weights, and make sure everything is running on plan. And on the side, you've got research and development and QA. You can test new species, new, and on the side, you've got research and development and QA. You can test new recipes, tracking batches, and making sure everything is compliant. And this is an important. I believe that research and development is an integral part of a business, especially when it comes to small and medium-sized businesses, because when businesses can actually get out of manual labor where that can be actually automated, they can actually focus on developing their business, developing their product, and positioning their product in the market at a better place so that they don't have to stay like a small and medium sized business anymore. They can actually scale larger. And next is your sales and distribution. So you can manage your orders, you can coordinate with third party logistics providers, and you can make sure that the right product gets to the right customer on time. And finally, your customer management. So when someone calls about an order, you've got the full history right there. No hunting for information. So, yes, ERP just keeps everyone on the same page from the floor to the front office. And did I talk too much? I think I did not. All right. So, surprisingly and controversially, I have a part 3 for this video too. So, where I'll be discussing the different software options that's available, pricing, and implementation timelines of them. Please don't miss that one. Don't forget to watch that video. I'm actually linking that video in the description below, so you can go check that out. So if you want to scale your business to the next level and if you want to explore ERP, you can actually book a free consultation with us, and I'd love to talk with you about your business. And if you really enjoy these videos, please make sure you are subscribing to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our latest updates. Let's build smarter systems together. Thank you.